on this channel, for those that don't know, I share with you the benefits of your fitness, your wellness, and running your own business and how they all influence each other. And on this episode in particular, I'm taking a little bit of a curveball with it. This is called Outside of the Box Thinking. This is episode number 9. And I talk about those things that most people don't want to talk about, such as this episode, talking about not meeting your heroes. Most of us have heroes in our lives. Those heroes aren't, I'm not talking about the cliches, you have your parents, obviously. Everyone's heroes, their parents. But outside of that, we're talking about heroes that you see on the big screens, heroes that you see and you aspire to be, whether they be athletes, whether they be entrepreneurs, whether they be actors, actresses, whatever. Not meeting them. Why would you not want to meet them? Most of us see what we want to see on the outside, but in actuality, is that actually who those individuals are? Think about it. I think it's a Japanese proverb that we each have, I think it's about 6 different personas, and a persona is a mask that we have. Each of us has about 6 of them. I believe it's 6, depending on who we are in our physical environment. So when we're around our family, we have a certain persona. When we're around our girl or our man, we have a certain persona. When we're around our homies, our friends, we have a certain persona. When we're in the workspace, we have a certain persona. All of these personas, if they collided with each other, there's going to be some type of chaos. And that chaos is equivalent to disappointment. What do I mean by that? So in my life, I experienced in the last few years, I came across an influencer, he's still a good friend of mine, but he was an influencer in the real estate space. And I learned a lot from him. Lots. And I felt like I need to get to know what is in this dude's head, because there's so much different thinking, different outside of the box creativity that I never knew existed. So I absorbed his content. I really took it in. I binge watched every bit of it, and I really became a fan, so to speak. I looked up to this individual. I still do, still look up to him. However, I was at that point when I got into their community, got into their mentorship, however you want to call it. And I got the chance to meet him at his own house. Amazing, beautiful house, and he's an amazing dude. Really, really stand-up character. And what really allowed me to resonate with this character, this individual that I looked up to, was his ability to speak, his ability to resonate and come across with a message. And that message was, he was not going to it was like, there's these people over here. These people are saying all the things that you should do, but they're imposters. And then there was him that was saying, I'm not going to ever be that person. I'm never going to stoop down to that level. Here's my information. You know what? You could even have it for free, kind of thing, right? But the one thing that you should know, if you're watching this and this is the only thing you see from this video, take this as a food for thought. If you get information for free, just know that you are the product. So when I say that you're the product and you're getting some information for free, there's something that they're trying to sell you. It might not be today, but it might be tomorrow. And it might not be in money, but it might be your time. It's going to be something. There's going to be some type of exchange, right? So when I was getting to know this individual, resonate with them, going to a lot of the get-togethers and whatnot, I started to learn a lot about myself, especially within the mentorship. And therefore, I thought to myself after another year, man, this dude's a stand-up dude, still a stand-up dude. However, after about 3 years getting to know him, I went to this get-together, and there was other people going there. It was like an investor meetup, right? So at these investor meetups, what happens is that typically you have a speaker on stage, and you have people sitting in their chair, people in the hallway talking, getting to know each other, networking, all those type of things, right? And as these speakers are talking, these speakers are up there doing their rah-rah stuff. You either have the motivators, you have people that are just talking about the current situation, and you always have the people that are entertaining, right? And this individual that I was looking up to, he was the next one to speak. I was excited. I was ready to go. I'm just like over here, I'm on the edge of my seat, waiting for him to get on stage. And also waiting for him to get off stage so I could say, hey man, that was awesome. Because it was one of the first times that I was able to talk to somebody and also have their personal cell phone and get to know them and really have that behind the scenes kind of interaction, you know, with a multimillionaire, right? So as this individual went on stage and everybody was off, I was listening to him talk, and it was everything that I was hearing. I was hanging on the edge of each word that he was speaking. It was a really good mark. As he was speaking, it started to sound like that I got. What do I mean by that? These other, unbeknownst to me, because I was, naive, I was new. Those were the ones, and I'm sure that you guys see this. Remember to like, share, subscribe as well. These are the ones where you go in and it's free, and they tell you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. This is why you're not being successful. It's not your fault. You just got to work hard. Really, really work hard. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I got to work hard. This is the old me, the one that was very naive. I'm like, yeah, I really got to work hard. But and we can help you work hard. You just got to get a credit card, go to the back of the room, and make sure that sign up with us. I'm like, yo, what? What is this? I signed up. I signed up for that first one. I'm pulling up to the crib. It's got when I do this, the internet goes all wacky and whatnot, but it will connect here soon. So, well, I'm a little close on this side. Let me get parked. I think I ran over something. All right. So, as I'm hearing my mentor on stage talking, and it started to sound like those people that he said he would never be. There was him, and then there was these other mentors that he said he would never be. He said he would never, I don't want to say sell out. He said he would never push a product. That's not in his words, but that's what the gist is. And I know that in the recording somewhere that there's somewhere like that, but he said he wouldn't push a product. He said that he's just going to put the information out there and he'll just be chilling. In the sense of, here's the information. I don't have to market it or be anything hardcore for it. The people just come. And that was what attracted me to this individual, is that the authenticity of putting the information out there that was so unique, in the way that it was presented and the way that it wasn't hardcore pressed. That was something that stood out to me. However, as the years started to pass, and I know people change, when this hero of mine, so to speak, going to the context of this video, hero of mine told me that they would not do something that they would never do ever, they did later after the years. Because at the end of his spiel, it started to sound like a pitch. It started to sound like, go to the back of the room, put in your credit card and apply. Mind you, The thing that the people are applying for is of value, is definitely more value than the other mentors that I've had in my life. But the main story, the main point that I'm trying to get across is that this individual said they would never send anybody to the back of the room to put in their credit card. And my heart sank, bro. I met my hero. I met my person that I looked up to. You know, in this particular case, I have multiple heroes. I'm sure we all do. But I met him, and he did this thing that he basically turned into a villain. He turned into a villain. So I'm sitting there like, bro, I gotta go. I gotta go into the hallway and take some fresh air, because I wondered to myself, what changed? What changed within this individual so much so that he had to change his principles as to how he marketed his content? That's really what it came down to. And I believe as a business, there's certain core principles that you have to follow. If you check out my other video series with scaling my cleaning business to 7 figures, you can check it out there. I go over core principles, but we also have core principles in life. And that was something that did not resonate with me so much so that I had to take a step away. I had to take a step away from what I was doing at that time, because I really became immersed in what this mentor showed me and brought me to, that I realized that it got me off track. It got me off track in my business, in my cleaning space. It got me off track in my relationships, because I was going into relationships with people that were really one-sided in the sense of what's in it for me kind of thing. So I realized that if you don't have core principles to stick to, you're going to fall for anything. And I'm sure you've heard the quote, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. It's the same thing here. And maybe this individual, maybe it didn't, like, his core principles weren't violated, but it violated mine. And I saw that. Therefore, I'm over here on the other end, which is now like, man, I gotta flip this around, because I ended up getting into debt trying to pursue this career as someone that I looked up to, which was basically their dream, and I'm trying to live their life and piece it into mine and really force the pieces in to fit, but it didn't fit 100%. So I want you to walk away with this as the message at the end of the day. You may have heroes, you may have people that you look up to, but at the end of the day, what's in it for you? What's in it for you? And it doesn't have to be something monetary. It doesn't have to be something physical. It has to be something in the sense of, what are you trying to get out of a relationship with your hero? Why do you look up to them? Do you actually want to be them? And if you want to be them, actually visualize yourself being that person. When I visualize myself being that person, I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds really good, because and it was real estate investing, right? So that's really what I was doing. So I'm thinking like, okay, I am in people's homes when I'm doing these cleanings, so I could definitely be a real estate investor, right? I mean, yeah, anybody could be a real estate investor. However, each and every transaction that I was doing, and every meetup and so on and so forth, there was a certain, what's going on, everybody? Sorry I wasn't interacting on the bottom here. Let me know where you're coming in live. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But as I was coming across these individuals in these meetups, there was that taint of what's in it for me in a greedy type of way. It wasn't like, hey, let me get to know you as an individual. And what really made me realize that was when I went to a wedding. I was at this wedding like, man, what could these people bring to me? What's in it for me? And I just thought to myself, wow, did I really stoop to that level? Did I really get to that point in my life where I'm trying to connect with people to connect with their pockets? Because that's not what I want to do. As a teacher, as a being, as an individual that teaches, that's what I want to do, is really connect from the heart and really connect with the spirit, and resonate with people that are interested in the things that I'm interested in. It could be business, it could be working out, it can be fitness, it could be whatever. It could be video games, all that stuff. But once it starts to negate and start going towards something superficial, such as just telling people to go back to in the back of a room and put in your credit card information, that's where I get heated. That's where I'm like, yo, nah. It doesn't even matter. You could have done it to the point where you offered me seats on NASA's flight to the moon. And I would have been like, man, nah, you said you wouldn't do that. Because it's the principles at the end of the day, bro. And some people are they lose their principles along the journey. And I think what really happened was that this individual that I looked up to met other individuals that he looked up to, that he started to just be like, wow, this is how it is. This is how it is in this world. But nah, I don't believe it is that way unless you just want to be a sellout. And I'm not calling this individual a sellout, but man, like the information that I experienced in that moment when my hero said they wouldn't do something, it's like if you see Iron Man, right, save a person all the time in the news, and then when you actually see Iron Man in person, you see Iron Man at the club and he's just like beating people's ass and just harassing everybody, and you're just like, whoa, what is this Iron Man, man? Like, what is going on? It was similar to that moment. So I'm talking about meeting your heroes and why you shouldn't actually meet them. Because some people don't, for the most part, I don't know about y'all, but every single time I've met my heroes, I've been disappointed. I've been disappointed. There was actually one time I met Big Sean. Big Sean was dope. I met Big Sean before he blew up, and he actually followed me on Twitter. I was like, oh damn, he was a really I'm sure he still is a very humble guy, very humble dude. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm sure that y'all are gonna come across those individuals that you resonate with. We are who we attract, and we attract who we are. So, I believe in that resonance, and once I start to come across somebody that doesn't really vibrate on the same resonancy, I gotta cut it. And I'll still fuck with them from a distance, but at the same time, I'm just like, yo, nah, I'm sorry, peace. I'll protect my energy from a distance, love them from a distance, but I gotta focus on me, I gotta focus on my family. So, at the end of the day, when you meet your heroes, why are they your heroes? Ask yourself these questions. Why are they your heroes? Have you visualized yourself in their position? And have you visualized yourself from rewiring it, like going backwards and reversing? Hey, peace. Thank you for joining. Let me know where y'all coming in live from. Please like, share, subscribe. Rewire it from the point that you see at the end point and visualize those steps going backwards. This is a very great concept that I learned from the book, Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm so glad I got that one. Habits of Highly Effective People. It's difficult to do it first, but just start off with 2 steps, 3 steps, work your way back. That's something that would really help you. I hope this video resonated with those that watched it. Please like, share, subscribe. I really love this. I love going live now. I think I'm gonna start doing this more often. It's a good way to really just get things off my chest. This is not my therapy, I promise. I'm over here in my garage. I gotta go inside. Wifey's gotta go to the gym. Peace, y'all.